Right. Okay. Uh, technical hitches with LinkedIn Live, but I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm on air, although you can't be too sure with this somewhat clunky technology that we're using. But anyway, um, hope you're all well. Hope you're all tuning in. This is the second one of these that I've put out, and what I wanted to do today was um, and what I want to do with these moving forward is create mini little call review LinkedIn live sessions based on things that I'm actually experiencing within sales conversations day in, day out. And what I want to do is make this super recent and relevant based on things that I'm hearing in our sales calls really recently, as recent as of this week, and then talking about specific things that are happening in those calls, breaking those down, and hopefully some of the stuff that's in there is super relatable to different scenarios that you might be going through in sales today yourself. So, and this specific example that came up is on one of my colleagues' calls where he gets asked by the prospect for a discount. And this is a really interesting scenario, I think, in most cases is, when people ask for a discount, what is their intention? What does it really mean? Like, how do we respond to that request? And so I just wanted to, first of all, play out the exact specific moment of the conversation of where this request actually happens and what my colleague says in response. And I just want to kind of analyze that and talk you through kind of my thoughts and approaches at what to do when I get the request for a discount, and hopefully answer any questions. So yeah, if you're tuning into this LinkedIn live session, please just pop a little comment in the window. There is a bit of a lag, so I don't always see the messages come through straight away. But please pop them in. I'd love to hear what you would do and what you would say in these situations if when or in the same scenario that I'm going to play out on an actual live call, and be great to just get your engagement on this really somewhat common situation when we get asked for a discount. So Matt, who's my helper, if you can just share my screen there, we've got it open. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly find the moment in our product where the word discount was mentioned. So as I said, this is literally a call that took place this very week, and it was this conversation here. So I'm just going to open this tab up. And for context, this was an inbound opportunity that we had at Refract, and this was picked up by one of my colleagues. This is the kind of the first conversation, if you like, with a prospect who's demonstrated a level of intent. They're in the market for a product like Refract, and so that's the context. This is kind of, I guess, first conversation, but this prospect is a little bit down the funnel, so to speak, as far as their buying process. My colleague's done initial discovery, understood the kind of what the prospect's looking to what they're looking to do, what challenges they're looking to solve, why they're in the market, and this happens on the call. So you can see here this part of the call where it's picked up here that the prospect said, "How do you get a discount?" In fact, I'll actually just play exactly what the prospect says here, so you can hear this for yourself and how the prospect asked the question. So here goes. How do you give a discount? Like, what's the best you could do for it? So if you heard that, the prospect says, "So how do you get a discount? What's the best you can do for us?" So I think whenever we get asked this question about discounts and best price, I think the question to always ask ourselves before we even respond to this question is, well, first of all, do I feel as a salesperson that I've done the best job possible at understanding the true motivations of the prospect as to why they would want to buy my product? And do I feel that I've done a good enough job as a salesperson to demonstrate and prove the value of this product? So, you're going to give a price, I assume in this case a price has been given, but ask yourself the question, when you get asked this question, do you feel you've identified, you've understood the true motivations or the compelling reasons as to why this customer would even want to buy your product? And B, have I, as a salesperson, done a good enough job thus far in demonstrating the value of my product? And the reason why that's so important is if the answer to those questions is no, and if you don't feel you understand either of those things, I personally think, regardless, getting into a conversation about discounts is probably, you're on a hiding for nothing there. Because if you believe that, there's a very strong chance that your prospect, A, does not have a compelling reason to buy, or B, feels that you don't truly understand why they're looking to buy this product, or even, are they even a serious buyer? So if you just start giving discounts at this stage of the conversation on demand, when you don't feel you've answered those two questions, then you're sort of wasting time, but furthermore, you're basically devaluing the cost of your product to ultimately a prospect who's never ever really going to buy. So first things first, before we even think about what do we say next, we need to ask ourselves those two crucial questions. Now, if the answer to either of those two questions is yes, I understand that there's compelling reasons as to why this prospect would buy my product, or B, I've understood the value. I really understand and I'm confident in the value that we're going to deliver to the prospect. Then this is how I'd approach this conversation. So again, I'm just going to play back this part of the conversation, the request from the customer.
How do you give a discount? Like, what's the best you could do for us?
And this is what I'd say. I'd use a Chris Voss technique, which is called mirroring, where I'd say a discount. And the reason that you do that is when you say a discount, you're repeating the words back to the prospect. And when you do that, whenever you mirror back, what you're doing is you're subtly saying to the customer, sorry, can you explain a bit more? Without you saying, sorry, what do you mean? You're just saying a discount. And what you'll tend to find is the prospect, when you do that, will actually give you more information. They'll give more meaning and rationale about why they've made that request. And that might be, it might be, listen, the price that you've quoted is too high, or it might be, listen, we're in a competitive situation here. One of your competitors is charging X, or it might even just be that they're just chancing their arm, because at the end of the day, everybody loves a deal. Everybody loves a discount. So when you just mirror back to the prospect, you'll get that response. Now this is what happens in reality. This is how my colleague responded to this request.
To be honest, that is usually the best. That's the best that we've. Usually the discounts start when we start hitting about 25 reps.
So in this situation, the salesperson has said, to be honest, we don't do a discount. The discount's set in when you go over to a certain number of users. And in my opinion, I feel like where that response is too early, it's too premature. We need to think back as to why have we been asked this question in the first place? And when we get understanding about the reason, the rationale as to why we've been asked that question, we're in a much stronger and better position to justify what we say next, justify our prices, but even truly understand why the prospects ask for a discount regardless. So after mirroring, what I would then say is a very assumptive, sounds like you've decided that you want to move forward with us then. And that might sound quite cheeky, but in my opinion, if someone's asking for a discount, to me, what I want to uncover at that point is is the only thing that's stopping this person moving forward with me today the price? Because if every other box is ticked, and if pricing is the only thing that needs to be satisfied, I want to find that out. And when you ask that question, it sounds like you want to move forward with us then. What you're going to get is the prospect to tell you, that's right, but the price has to be right. Or, well, actually, there's other things that we need to think about. They give that sort of answer. So when you kind of make that assumptive, it is a little bit of an assumptive close. What you do is you start to uncover, is this the only thing that's stopping us from moving forward? And there's also a good way to kind of test out the true intentions and motivations of the buyer as well. So, it's a really nice approach to, once you've understood why they're asking for the discount, to then say, so sounds like you want to move forward with me, or sounds like you've decided you want to work with us, but pricing is the only stumbling block here. So before you start to give discounts, before you start to push back, you want to get a true understanding as to, is this the only last thing that needs to be satisfied? Test commitment. Another way to handle this is to say, ask the question, can I just understand, what is it that's making you ask for a discount? Can I just understand, what is it that's making you ask for a discount? Because again, this might be for a number of reasons. A, it might be because everybody likes a deal. And so regardless of what this prospect buys, they will always ask for a discount. B, it might be that they've got a specific pot of money that only they can actually, that pot of money is finite. And, if the price is within that bracket. Or C, maybe they just haven't yet seen value yet. They don't feel like your price matches the value of the product. And the final bit in this is, before we start to actually give discounts, if you get to a stage where a discount is the only option, the rule of thumb that I always use is, never just drop your prices, always trade off. Because we live in a world where discounts are a thing. Every company will always have a discount as an option, as a bargaining chip. But if you're going to drop your prices, one thing I hear happen too proactively and easily is salespeople will just say, the best price I could do for you here is X, and they just kind of pluck out and figure out the before they've even understood what they're actually getting back in return. If you give a discount, you must get something back in return. And actually, when you ask for something in return from your prospect, this trade-off, what it actually does is it helps the prospect understand that you're a serious salesperson. And it also, again, tests their commitment. Because if you ask, if the trade-off is maybe a longer commitment, it might be giving you some sort of testimonial or case study. It might be based on a quick decision. But you only make that trade-off. You only give that discount if you know that you're getting something in return. Never give discounts away for free. Is the high level of it. Always make sure you get something back in return. And when you put that trade-off on the table, what you get is a prospect. You test their commitment as a buyer. If I give you this, will you give this? Will you give this to me in return? And if they are reticent about giving you that something in return, then you need to question why you would even give the discount in the first place. So, summarizing, whenever you get the question, can I get a discount, or what's your best price? Always ask yourself the two questions. Have I demonstrated and proven value? And have I understood the commitment, the true commitment and motivations, and the compelling reasons, of the buyer? Secondly, mirror the prospect. A discount, get them to tell you the rationale as to why they're asking for a discount. Make the assumptive close. Understand if price is the only thing that's actually stopping you from moving forward. Sounds like you've decided that you want to move forward with me then. Or, sounds like pricing is literally the only thing that that's stopping us from working together today. Test their commitment. Use that assumptive close. Don't feel it might sound cheeky when you do that, but you're entitled to be able to do it. And finally, always make sure you trade off. Never just give the discount. Never give the discount away for free. Use a trade-off. Ask for something in return. Not only does this give you something, balances off the monetary discount that you give, but it also tests their commitment as the buyer, that they're prepared to give you something in return, that they themselves know that a discount will not be given for free. Hopefully that was useful. I plan to do more of these sessions where I will hear something on a sales call, play it out, dissect it, and feed it back and get people's thoughts. And would love to hear everyone's and any specific requests that people have about specific objections or call scenarios that they'd like us to break down moving forward. Thanks very much.